Don't say because you have credit card money. Talk about having an A in a negative thing. Should be traveling too. Immigrating to a new country is capital intensive, takes your time, takes a lot of things from you. And for a lot of people that are immigrating, especially Africans that immigrate, one of the reasons we immigrate is for a better life. But I did some research because of this video I wanted to make. As you can see from the title of this video, today we want to talk about why some immigrants are broke. Let me read to you the research that this Canadian Poverty Institute came up with. The Canadian Poverty Institute says that a staggering, they called it staggering because it is a lot. A staggering 14% of immigrants who arrived within the previous 10 years were living in poverty in 2021. So within 2010 and 2021, or 2011 and 2021, 14% of immigrants, and yes, this is not only Africans, but 14% of all the immigrants. If you actually do a calculation to say, oh, what is the percentage of what is in actual number, this will be running to millions of people that arrived within the last 10 years are living in poverty. And it says this number is substantially higher than the overall poverty rate in Canada. So the rate of immigrants that are living in poverty is higher. Like immigrants living in poverty, when we consider their percentage, it is higher than the overall poverty rate in Canada, which stood at 7.3%. So 7.3% poverty in Canada, but immigrants are 14%. Talk about talk about having an A in a negative thing, overshooting the score. And non-permanent residents have a poverty rate of around 34%. Because at the end of the day, when you ask most of the people that are immigrating, it is they left the comfort of their homes. They left the comfort. But sometimes when I think, I was mentioning to somebody recently, when I think of the house I left in Nigeria, how big it is, all the washroom, like how big, how comfortable, I just used to say, it's a pity that I cannot move out from Nigeria to Canada, because so a lot of people actually left the comfort of their home to immigrate. And when we are immigrating, one of the things at the back of our minds is that we are going to live better lives. So imagine you immigrate somewhere and within 10 years, there's a statistics of 14% actually living below poverty line. So let's get into this. Why are immigrants poor? But before we get into this, welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome to the channel. If you are seeing my pretty face for the first time, you're welcome. My name is Christy, and on this channel, I film content around my faith and also around my life here as an immigrant in Canada. If any of this sounds like what you might be interested in, consider hitting the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss subsequent videos. And if you're returning to Spurs, thank you, ma. Thank you, sir. So let's get right into this video. Why are immigrants broke in Canada? Because we welcome me, we came with plenty money for most of us. So the first thing that came to mind when I was thinking about making this video, the very first thing that came to mind was immigrants comparing themselves to other nationals, especially comparing themselves with maybe people that are Canada born, people that have been here for longer than they have been, comparing themselves to even immigrants from other countries, So talking about comparing yourself to other, like, for example, Canada born colleagues or something. I remember that there was somebody that was telling me about how they travel to Mexico every year. Like, they don't miss it. I think they've been going for like the past 10 years or thereabouts. Every year they go to Mexico. And for both of them, for the husband and wife to go to Mexico, I think it costs around $4,000, depending on when they book the flights, which agency is arranging their travel plans for them and all that. It costs about $4,000 every year. And they have never missed a year of going to Mexico, because according to her, there are lots of areas in Mexico. So the place they visit this year is most likely not the same area they will visit the next year. And they've been having different sites of visit like that. So there was one that I was just talking to, and I was like, okay, so do you save up? Like, how do you gather these funds for your travels? How do you get the funds? Do you save? Is there like how do you get the money? And what she told me was that she uses one card that gives her points, And that point is what they use to travel. And sometimes if the point is not enough, what they have to pay, what they have to add up is usually less than $500, or is usually like really small. All they use for their travels is points. Like when they use, I asked about the card, and I think they discontinued it or something because I tried to make inquiries about it. It's a card from a bank. But for the people that had it already, they still had access to use the card and get points, and the points they can use to travel. So imagine that I didn't ask that question. And I'm trying to compare myself to this person that is always, living a life, going to Mexico every year. And I also feel like, the life is for the living. I should be traveling too. She's working and working. She's earning money. In fact, we are earning the same. I'm earning more salary than she is even earning. So, and I feel like, okay, I should be able to. And I don't ask questions as per how she's doing these things. And I decide to be spending $4,000 every year to travel to Mexico. And the truth is, there are some immigrants that are doing this, like comparing themselves to other people without asking questions about those things they are trying to compare themselves with. How are those people coming about it? How are those people doing it? How are those? What is the arrangement with it? There are some things there are some things we get into as immigrants that if we really ask deep questions, we won't even near it, because no, maybe not, we will never near it, but we would take our time. For example, for me, if I want to travel now, even if I don't have access to gathering is it I think it's called air travel points or something. If I don't have access to gathering air travel points, can I start saving? Okay, I want to travel next year. Is it possible to be saving a particular amount every month or every paycheck? Paycheck is twice in a, like every 2 weeks is when you get paycheck. Can I be saving something every paycheck, and so that I can gather enough funds that will help me to travel if I plan to travel next year? This will take me to the next point. Because of this comparison with other people, and the desire to want to meet up, what's that thing they used to say? Meet up with the Joneses. To meet up with people that do not even care how you live your life, whether you are living in debt or not. Some people spend their credit card funds for the wrong things, and they rack up interest rates. And before you know it, they are neck deep in the interest rates of credit card. They are unable to meet up. They are, before you know it, they are in debt. Credit card interest is eating up their funds. Like, because you wanted to have the pleasures of life, fast, because other people are having it, you didn't plan yourself. Now you're having to enter this statistics of 14%. So comparing yourself and thereby spending money that you don't need to spend. And this also boils down to taking loans for things that you do not really need. For example, I see somebody that buys a new car as a new immigrant. Number one, I don't know what their financial plan, what their financial goal is. I don't know how much they brought into the country. I don't know what they had to give up to be able to buy that new car. Because the truth is, for most of the new things you see people own in Canada, to as little as couches, do you know that there's pay instrumentally to buy couch, to buy chairs in your house, to buy household things, to buy iPhone. You pay for 2 years. To buy what again? To buy cars. So for some people that you see, oh, I bought a new something. I bought a new something. For some of them, it's not like they bought, cash down. Oh. They bought to be paying instrumentally for the next how many years? And some people will feel like, if this person can do it, I can do it too. And they enter debt that they're not supposed to enter. So these debts that they are not supposed to enter brings them into more debt, because what happens is when you're not able to meet up with your repayment, your repayment increases due to late interest. This thing. If you don't pay your loan, the interest on the late payment is more than the interest on the loan itself. And this is because financial planning is not in place. Comparing yourself with other people, you want to do what other people are doing. You don't plan yourself according to your capacity. And that reminds me, let me tell you guys a story. There was one person. that came to me like this, as I am like this. I'm looking at myself. I'm wondering what the person saw. Person came to me and said that she has one human hair that is for $1,200. Wait, wait first before you start helping me to do the conversion. As at that time, I think Naira, because it was some months ago, so it's about a year ago, to be like about a year ago now. Around that time, dollar have not, not risen like it have risen now. But let us assume that dollar that time was like 1,000. 1,000 1,000 naira. So this person was saying I should come and buy a of 1.2 million. I apologized to the person when the person told me. I didn't apologize because I could not afford it. I apologize because if the person could come to me to say I should come and buy that kind of hair, that means the person I've seen, maybe I've been living fake life. Maybe I have portrayed a fake life because I cannot be buying hair of $1,200. I have siblings. I have parents. I have responsibilities. Hair of $1,200 cannot be in my budget right now. And some people will not mind. They'll be like, okay, can I pay in installments? Yeah. Some people would suggest that they will offer that. Can I pay in installments? So I buy a of 1,000. There are some expenses that, as new immigrants, we might not really need to make if we have good financial planning. I've spent a lot of time on talking about comparing yourself and making purchases that you're not supposed to make. And I think I've flogged that issue long enough. Let's go to the next point. Another reason some immigrants are broke is because they have done follow to go and be living in expensive places. Not because they did research and discover that that is the best place for them in terms of their career, in terms of the type of family dynamic they are trying to build, in terms of things that will help them. Not because of those things, but because they have friends that are living in those places and they're like, I want to continue my friendship. Of course, it's not bad to continue your friendship. But I remember that one of the things I said in a previous video was that before you immigrate to any province, any Western, wherever, one of the things you should do is make research about your career. Is it the place you want to immigrate to? Is your career going to kick off there? Is it known for your career? Which place is good for the kind of family, dynamic, family structure you're trying to build? And those are the things, that should inform your decisions about where to live. Not my friend is there. Not that's where. The reason some people will live in Ontario or Toronto is because that's where everybody is saying that there is life. They're saying that there is life. Oh, if you want life, jolly life. If you want that life, is Toronto. And some people have moved to Toronto and they have discovered that there's jolly, but at the end of the day, there's also brokenness. So that is not to say that it's everybody that moves to Toronto that are broke. I'm just saying that there are some people that move with the right, information, and they're able to make the best decision about where to live. So some people are living in these high cost areas because of that's where I hear that everybody is living. Another reason why some immigrants are broke is because of lack of financial literacy. And I think we also had some issues with this when we just came, because in Nigeria, we knew about treasury bills, we knew about fixed deposits, we knew about maybe like real estate. Those were the ways you could, keep your money and invest them and ensure that they keep yielding, and you are not just keeping your money in savings account. But when we got here, the day I was asking about fixed deposit account, they were saying the interest rate is 0.1%. There's no treasury bills. I don't know what they have. And you are hearing about today. You are talking to your financial advisor. They are talking about RRSP. They are talking about TFSA. That it's just a whole lot of information, and the fact that we are not able to wrap our heads around. Oh, okay. So what are we supposed to do? Which one should I go for? Is sometimes keeping some people broke because I cannot invest the money. Let me blow it. Please don't be blowing it. Or they keep it in savings account or something. So For this, I'll say keep asking questions from your financial advisor, from your bank, from everywhere you can ask until you are clear about what you do. Another reason some African immigrants are broke is because of black tax. And I think that we need to also be able to uh, so this one is very tricky because for me, I'm a first child. So I know that for some people, they don't really have a choice as to sending money or having to meet sending money home, having to meet financial needs of the people back home. It's something God has helped you to be where you are, right? And you also want to, as much as you can, help the people that are back home. But at the end of the day, you also want to be able to say no to some requests that you know are beyond your power. I'm not saying be selfish. And if you like listen to where I started from, I'm the first child, so I cannot even afford to be selfish. I cannot. It would be wicked of me to be selfish. But there are some times when. So now I remember something, and I knew that there are some times when you need to be able to say no. There was a request I actually said no to because thinking about it now, I'm still glad I said no to that request because at the end of the day, you are also building as much as you want to help people, you also want to build build people such that they're also able to stand on their own. And I remember that one of the things Pastor Femi said was, if you are not thinking of how to help the people behind you stand on their own, that black tax, you will pay it until you die. Because you are just raising people that will keep asking you. You are not raising people that you are not helping them in such a way that they'll be able to stand on their own. And such, if they're able to stand on their own, it will relieve you. So you need to be able to, prioritize which needs are actually important and which needs can I. Don't say because you have credit card money. Credit card money is not your money. Credit card money is money that you is basically like when you spend it, you have to pay it back. So don't think that, they're asking for this thing. I don't have it, but I could have credit card money. You not be using credit card money to make some, be careful about the way you spend some of this credit card money. You'll pay it back. If you don't pay it back when you're supposed to pay it back, you'll pay interest on top of the credit card. And you don't want the amount you pay interest on top to be a lot. Live within your means. In fact, live below your means. And I think one last thing I'll be talking about is sometimes when we start working, we don't really look at maybe our employee handbook or employee guide or something, or ask questions even to know some of the benefits you can access. And because we don't have those information, we use our funds we use our funds, spend our funds on things that our company can actually pay for. For example, I remember that there was somebody that said he had like a root canal, something with his teeth, and the cost for that root canal was about $3,500. And he didn't know, he was already thinking of how to gather money to pay 3,000 for teeth. I think root canal was what they called it. They're going to replace something. And it was just because one day he was just, lamenting about how is he going to pay this money? Where will he find it? And somebody said, your insurance income, your insurance covers it and something like that. So there are some monies that immigrants, and this person is an immigrant. Like people that have been here for longer know some of these things that we don't know. And that's why you need to arm yourself with this information as per the benefits you can access, the things that will help you save your money. If you are not sure about something that has to do with finances, before you make those purchases, before you make those payments, ask questions. Ask questions, ask questions, ask questions. So let me know in the comment section, why do you think some immigrants are broke? What do you think? What are the experiences you've had with like some immigrants that are broke? What made them broke? Why do you think some immigrants are living in this, poverty? This research says they are living below poverty line. 14% are living below poverty line. Why do you think some immigrants are living below poverty line? Maybe there's something I missed. In case you have not seen this video about some mistakes I made in the workplace, it will be somewhere here. And in case you haven't seen a video of what my thoughts are about 40 years and above people that are looking to immigrate to Canada, I'll also leave that link here. So check out these two places for those videos, and I'll be sure to see you in my next video. Until you see the next video, have a beautiful life, guys. Bye.